What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Danny Garcia in the news. As you guys can see, this is his verified Instagram account. And he states, Hall of Famer, no active boxer besides Canelo and Pacquiao have a better resume than me. Yeah, I lost some, but I always went up against the odds and fought the best in four weight classes. Who wants to argue? Now, we could definitely argue about, first of all, let me state this here. I've always felt like Danny Garcia had an underrated resume. At one particular time, I felt like him and Tim Bradley had underrated resumes or whatnot. But Danny Garcia definitely has a good resume. Nate Campbell, Kendall Holt, they were past their primes. But, Amir Khan, he was supposed to lose that fight. He ended up winning that fight. Eric Morales twice. He was past his prime, but he did have one of the titles. Zab Judah past his prime. Lucas Matisse was bro. Dude does not get enough. I'm gonna double back with Lucas Matisse. I'm gonna double back on that. Lamont Peterson, good victory. I thought he lost that fight. I thought Lamont Peterson started a little bit too late. So I can't. But Paulie Malignaggi, Robert Guerrero, Keith Thurman, Brandon Real, Sean Porter, Errol Spence, Erislandy Lara. He lost the last three names that he stated? No, four, because he lost against Keith Thurman, he lost against Sean Porter, he lost against Errol Spence, and he lost against Lara. But bro, listen, now I will make an argument and say that I think Terrence Crawford has a better resume than him, because again, Terrence Crawford has beaten some really good guys, and if we compare the resumes that we do, matter of fact, I can go ahead and do that now. All right, so looking at Danny Garcia's resume, he has the record of 37-4 with 21 knockouts. He's fought. Okay, here's the thing. When fighters talk about I have the best resume, for me, and this is just for me, I don't expect anybody else to hold this, this type of criteria. But for me, I go off based off of who you've beaten. It's not just who you fought, but it's who you've beaten when we're comparing resumes. Because it's like, bro, I don't know. You don't get kudos for getting in there with somebody. Well, okay, no, let me stop that. You do get kudos for getting in there with them. Yeah, right. That does matter, right? I will say that. Like, yeah, you fought such and such, cool. But you get, if we're talking about who has the better resume, then you don't get kudos just for getting in there with somebody. Like, if you didn't beat them, it don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go off the guys that he's beaten. He's the best name that he's beaten. Or even if we go back, the biggest name is obviously Eric Morales. But even though he was past his prime, you still got to give Danny Garcia credit for that, because Eric Morales was the world champion at the time. I believe they were fighting for the WBC. Yep. But Nate Campbell, Kendall Holt, those are very good names. Past their primes, but those are good names. Eric Morales, a Hall of Fame legend. Past his prime, but still, I just went over that. Amir Khan, though, here's the thing: you gotta give Danny Garcia credit for beating Amir Khan, because Danny Garcia was not supposed to win that fight. Nobody had Danny Garcia winning that fight, including myself. And a lot of people want to talk about, he landed a lucky hook. Bro, he punched with Amir Khan. If you guys know, one of Amir Khan's biggest flaws is he stays in a pocket a little bit too long, right? And his chin won't permit that, So if you punch with Amir Khan, that's all she wrote. Zab Judah passed his prime, right? But Lucas Matisse, oh my gosh, Danny Garcia does not get enough credit for beating Lucas Matisse. At the time, Lucas Matisse, and I don't even have to go on his record to know this, because I remember at the time Lucas Matisse, his record was 34-2 with 32 knockouts. Nobody wanted that man, bro. And the two fights that he lost was controversial. It was split decisions. No, wait, I know for a fact it was a split decision loss against Zab Judah, but I don't know if it was split decision against Devin Alexander. I'm gonna go look at that real quick. Devin Alexander. Oh, yep, 2 split decision losses. All right, so that dude was the boogeyman. Nobody wanted to fight that man. That dude was a monster, bro. And Danny Garcia fought him and beat him and dropped him. So I just feel like he don't get enough credit for that, bro. Like that was a very, dude. That's probably, to me, that was his best win. Lucas Matisse was his best win. A lot of people thought he lost against Mauricio Herrera, Rod Salka. That was, We didn't like that fight. Lamont Peterson, at first I thought Lamont Peterson should have won, but I remember going back and watching it and thinking that Lamont Peterson just started a little bit late. The only difference is the rounds that Lamont Peterson won was way more clear than the rounds that Danny Garcia won. But I thought Lamont started a little bit too late, but it was still a very close fight. I think I had 7 rounds to 5 for Danny Garcia. Only because Lamont started late. Paulie Malignaggi, Robert Guerrero, I thought he beat Guerrero. That was a good name. Brandon Rios, yeah, these are some like good guys that he's beaten. But I can argue, because you lost against Errol Spence, you lost against Sean Porter. Those 2 guys that you lost against, Terrence Crawford beat and stopped. So I can argue and say Terrence Crawford has a better resume than Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia definitely has a very good resume. Because Terrence Crawford got Errol Spence, Sean Porter, obviously Kell Brook. Amir, both of them beat Amir Khan. Jeff Horn, Felix Diaz, Victor Postal. Victor Postal is actually a guy that Danny Garcia did not want to fight. With Thomas Delorme. Nah, I ain't gonna. I feel like, okay, out of everybody on Terrence Crawford's resume, if I'm gonna start on from the names, Danny Garcia would have obviously he lost to Sean Porter and Errol Spence. I think Israel Madrimov would have beaten Danny Garcia. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Jose Benavidez got stopped by Terrence Crawford. He went the distance with Danny Garcia, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that fight was a lot closer than what the scorecards read. But I think Danny won by a majority decision. I'm gonna tell you somebody else. Victor Postal would have gave Danny Garcia issues. People are gonna argue about that, but I'm telling you now, Victor Postal would have given Danny Garcia issues, bro. Mean Machine would have given Danny Garcia issues. But I feel like I definitely feel like Terrence Crawford has the better resume, so I can argue that. But Danny Garcia, his resume is very solid, and I do think that he's a Hall of Famer, bro. I definitely feel like that. Now, I don't know if Danny Garcia is continuing to fight or not. I feel like that was a terrible matchup with him versus Erislandy Lara. That was just a terrible matchup. I don't know why they even thought, bro. And then you was off of a 2-year layoff, and you gonna come and fight Erislandy Lara? Like, that just was a terrible matchup. Now, Danny Garcia, though he was stopped in a Lara fight, I feel like it was definitely not due to the punch. In my opinion, I feel like his mind just wasn't there, because Danny Garcia got a chin. Like, that dude has a chin. But I feel like he's like not a first ballot Hall of Fame, because I would call guys like Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, like guys like Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, those are first ballot Hall of Famers. But I would say Danny Garcia is more like a second ballot Hall of Famer, because though he has a lot of good wins, and but he still had when it was time to step up to the biggest competition, he wasn't able to beat him. So I feel like I understand him, I would say he's a second ballot Hall of Famer. So and that's still good, because I think he's a Hall of Famer. And I think he had a very, very good career. Again, you guys got to remember, Danny Garcia wasn't even supposed to be where he was at. He was brought in as an opponent against Amir Khan, bro, and he shocked the world, bro, because I was damn sure shocked. And then he furthermore shocked the world against Lucas Matisse. I believe he was an underdog in that fight, but because I remember Lucas Matisse, he was supposed to either fight Lucas Matisse or Lamont Peterson, and Lucas Matisse stopped Lamont Peterson. And I remember I was thinking like, damn, it's gonna be a tough ass fight for Danny Garcia, bro, because that dude ain't no joke, bro. You got people like Tim Bradley. They asked Tim Bradley who was the hardest puncher he ever faced. He said Lucas Matisse, and they ain't even fight, they sparred. That tells you a lot. Danny Garcia ate that man shots, bro. Like, dude got a chin, bro. I don't ever have to see him fight again, though. I mean, I don't think that he doesn't have anything to prove at this point, because I mean, he had a very good run at 140 and a decent run at 147. After that, it's just So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that, you know, maps out. But I don't have to see him fight again. I don't think that he really needs to. I mean, I don't see him beating none of the top guys, especially at 154. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Do you feel like Danny Garcia is a Hall of Fame? What was Danny Garcia's biggest win or best win to you? Let me know what you think, but what do I know?